friends, peers, who you associate yourself with. Because, we've all heard it. The 5 people that you hang out with, you're the sum of them. And I think when you actually go into depth of what those 5 people should look like, it starts to trigger people. Like they take offense to it.
Yeah.
And it's a tough subject for a lot of people.
Well, I feel that the 5 people they associate with, they're comfortable. Those people don't hold them accountable.
Right.
You hold me accountable, I hold you accountable, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't get offended. We have thick skin and a soft heart.
Yeah.
And true friends, aka association, they're supposed to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Well, yeah, because there's a difference between confrontation and communication. Most people that aren't good at receiving and don't want to grow or aren't focused on growth, they're not good at, they look at it as confrontation when it's just like, hey, Davrick, you're slipping up, something's going on, what the hell? And you might take offense to it and you get defensive, and then we get into a combative debate versus like, hey, I'm just trying to bring something to your attention because I think your energy and your focus is in the wrong place.
Correct. Absolutely. So how for me, I didn't understand this till, later on in life, but I always heard my friend's dad say, if you want to be successful, hang around people that are successful. And as a kid, a young adult, 18, you're still a kid in my mind. I didn't really understand that. But I did understand it, but I didn't understand it. Because you hear it, but how do you, I guess for me, and you can explain to people, how does someone go about finding or getting around people of influence or people that they want to associate and be around that they want to become like?
Correct.
Like Mike, right? Everybody wants to be like Mike.
For sure.
So how would you tell someone to find the right association, or how do they go about that? Well, I know that's a long question.
It is, but the first thing is like, you got to determine what your success is. What does success mean to you? What's the level? What's the magnitude of it? Financially, personally, relationship-wise, freedom. All these things have to be accounted for. Like, because I saw the other day, if you are at level 10 in your money, if you are level 10 in your relationship, but you are level 5 in your body, you're not successful.
Wow.
You say that to some people, that will blow, not only might blow over their head, but they might take extreme offense to that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to first determine, what does success mean to you in all categories of your life? Personal, business, spirit, relationship, like all these things matter before you can actually figure out and decide what type of people do I want to associate myself with and why.
Right. And there's a lot of people that aren't healthy that are successful, and that's fine for them.
For some it is.
But for me, I want to stay healthy. I want longevity.
Correct. And so like if somebody comes to me and that becomes a conversation, I'm going to debate with that person because I will tell that person, listen, you got to understand, like, because some people, this is where the confrontation versus communication comes in. Someone might come ask me and be like, well, I don't believe in that. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I would never want your life. You might have all the money in the world. You might have a perfect marriage, but physically you don't look like someone that's going to live past 70 or 80 years old. And I want nothing like your life whatsoever. And I don't mean that any insult or disrespect at all, but that to me, for me, is not success.
And so, and you also, I believe people have to improve their association. That's part of it, right?
Correct.
So going from level 1 to 10, right? And you mentioned something earlier in another podcast. You might be at level 200 and they're level 1. Don't try to compare yourself to me. You have to grow in yourself. And I think another part, Sean, that I feel is very important is you have to do a self-assessment of where you're at.
Boom.
Before you say, I want to be like Elon Musk. I need to associate with Elon Musk.
Absolutely.
First of all, you can't get around Elon Musk.
Right.
Okay. Because you're not even at that level financially.
That's like level 10,000.
Exactly. I can't get around him. You can't. So I think the self-assessment is the starting point for an individual to say, okay, where am I at? And be honest. That's the hard part.
It's a couple of things that you just said that kind of reminded me of something. Like, yeah, number one, you might try to fool people, you might try to lie to people, but you can't lie to yourself. You lie to yourself and it's not going to get you anywhere. And number two, it's funny that you said about self-assess, because in my coaching programs, in any one of the categories people come to me for, self-reflection is in all of them. It's my number. It's like on my top 3 lists of things that somebody has to do in order for me to be able to help them out. Because if you can't self-reflect, if you can't receive, if you can't be honest with me so that I can help you improve in the categories you're coming to me for, then what are we doing? And what are you looking for? Where do you want to go?
That's key. And I think too, a couple things, an association. It's not just in life, but in business. If you're in business or your work life, So if I'm an athlete and I want to be better, I'm going to hang around people that are better athletes. Well, if I'm in business, I'm going to hang around people that I'm better in business with. I don't think it means cut your friends out, but keep them at arm's length.
Correct.
Because there's certain friends that don't want to elevate their life, don't want to do a self-assessment, don't want to grow spiritually, financially, lifestyle-wise, mentally.
Correct.
And then say, hey, I've known you, buddy, for 30 plus years. We're friends from a distance, but I can't associate with you on a daily basis because you're not going where I'm going or at the level I'm at. So
more like you don't want to go where I want to go.
Right. So there's friends I'm friends with that I'm in the tech world. That's where I live in business, but I see where they're at. And it was funny. I was on the plane yesterday coming back from LA. Mm-hmm. And this guy's in front of me, this engineer, and he's speaking my language. I can hear everything he's saying.
Your lingo.
And I'm sitting there bored, and the Wi-Fi never works on your phone, right?
Right.
So I'm sitting there listening. He's, oh yeah, we got to do this. He's talking about his parents, how they never saved until they were in their 40s. He's talking about savings. I need to save. And I'm thinking,
investing.
And I'm thinking, exactly. You're trying to save money. I'm trying to move forward and spend my money on investments and assets to grow. And his mindset is save money.
I literally just saw a post about what you just mentioned today. Saving is still a broke, poor mentality.
Right.
Whether you're making money or not, if you're just putting it in the bank to save or hoarding it in your drawer or under your bed, you're still going to be broke.
Because here's what it's saying. You're gonna work till you're 65 and you're going to retire.